Well, hello, speakers. I'm Kimberly Crow. I'm super excited. We are here with another episode of Landing the Gig. If you are a speaker looking to get out on other people's stages to build your credibility, grow your know, like, and trust, and get the message out about who you are and what you're up to in the world, you're in the right place. Landing the Gig is a series of episodes that Kelly Filardo and I put together with people who book speakers because we're tired of seeing amazing humans that have great solutions in the world not get enough attention and exposure. Kelly?
Thank you, Kimberly. Yeah, absolutely. I've been a speaker for 13 years and it was like, how come I'm not getting more gigs? And what am I doing wrong? So that's when I was inspired to go right to the source, the event planner, the speaker bureaus, the agents, the event managers, and talk to them about what are we doing wrong and what do we need to do right so we can land more gigs.
I love it. All right. So whether you're just starting out or if you're looking to elevate your speaking career, we are super excited to have you with us. So without further ado, let's dive into today's conversation with our expert on how you can truly land the gig. Cheers.
Hey there, everybody. Kelly Filardo here of Landing the Gig. And this is the show where we talk to event planners, event managers, speaking bureaus, just speaking professionals who are helping speakers to land more gigs. So today my guest is Connie Zeller. I've never talked to her before, but I've been introduced to her by Yvonne Baston, who is an incredible woman. So I know she's got to be incredible also. So anyways, welcome, Connie.
Thank you, Kelly. I love that you have a podcast that's helping speakers because so often I hear people say, I want to be a speaker, and they just seem to not always have the resources, and they don't always get the, they just see what's really great as a speaker. They don't always get the kind of dirt on the back end. So I love that you're doing a podcast that really encompasses all of those ideas. Good for you.
Well, thank you. I'm really enjoying it because just like you said, a lot of people say, oh, I want to be a speaker. I want to get my message out there. And they do their website, they do their one sheet. And then they're like, okay, where's the speaking gig? And they just expect they're going to magically appear. And so, so whenever anybody comes to me and tells me they want to be a speaker, I was like, okay, you got to put in your dues and you got to do the practice and you got to do the 100 speeches and all that stuff. So anyway, so thank you. I'm so excited that you want to chat with us today. So, okay, so here's my first question.
Yeah.
What are speakers doing wrong? Why are they not landing the gig?
Because they're not reaching out. Like you said, they put it out there. I want to be a speaker. I've got my one sheet. Where are the gigs? They aren't really getting out. And, this is one thing that really resonates with me when I'm working with speakers and helping with them get events. Get out, not just get your booking group or whoever out there, get yourself out there and promote yourself. A lot of times I will go and see somebody speak just so that I know, is this somebody I would maybe approach down the road? Is it not? And I keep that information. But a lot of times people just think, well, I'm working with a group. They're supposed to help get me gigs. Well, they are. But a lot of times people are just like, I don't want to talk to the booking people. I want to see the speaker. So it's get out there. Yeah.
Well, I think what happens is a lot of people think that like the speaking bureau is going to be the holy grail. And if they get listed with a speaking bureau, they don't need to do any other marketing. And I know over the years that I found I need the agent, I need the speaker bureau, I need myself reaching out for gigs. And it's not just one avenue of finding gigs. It's all about, there's a lot of different ways.
You're so right. There are different ways. And it is that piece of it isn't a one and done. I've got my speakers group. They're supposed to be helping me. But like you said, you've still got to be out there marketing yourself as well.
Yeah, that's right. And I know even with a number of different speaking bureaus that I've worked with, they even say, okay, don't just focus on me. Like, I'm going to maybe get you some, but you need to market yourself other ways. Yeah. Great. Okay, so I know you like to hire speakers. So what is like one or two speakers that have done some incredible thing that you said, oh my God, I have to have that speaker on my stage?
Wow. Let's see. A lot of times it is their true personality. It is them just being themselves, but also being respectful of the time. And I know that seems really strange because speakers like to speak. But really being, if it's exciting, if it's fun, if it's, just gets to me, I love it because somebody's showing their true personality. And I'm also looking, I not only look for a topic that's going to fit with an event if somebody's looking to bring somebody onto a stage, but I also look for a personality fit. So it's like, oh, this person talks about business. Well, yeah, we all know that's a yawner, but they're making it fun. I recently met with a woman and she's an accountant, but she makes it fun. And with her personality type, it's just like, okay, now I know. The next time somebody says, I'm looking for an accountant to do my business event, she's going to be one that I recommend because of that connection she had with the audience. And again, she kept her time right on. And I was just like, I'm impressed. So those are really things. Be yourself and don't be too nervous. And I know it's easy for me to say. People will give you grace, so just be yourself.
Okay, so what is something that speakers do that you absolutely get ticked off about and you're like, I will never hire that speaker ever again?
If they go over their time, and depending on the format of what's going on with it, are they a speaker who's selling their programs or whatever they're doing? If they have been asked not to make a pitch and they make a pitch, it makes me crazy. It's just like the rule was you can't pitch, you can't sell from stage. And sometimes people will say, well, I did it like this, so it wasn't really selling from stage. No. Giving a free gift is giving a free gift. Come to my program is selling your program. And so that makes me crazy if they're not following the rules that they were given. Yeah.
So the two rules are never go over time and never pitch if you're not allowed to.
If you're not allowed to. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So excellent. Okay. So what are some of the favorite things that speakers do?
One of my favorites always, I love, for those of you maybe who have heard Barry Baumgartner, she has her own event company. And, I am a super fan. I love listening to her. And she is one of those where she gives that very detailed teaching moment. But again, she's giving her personality and she just makes people feel like you're in a conversation, hanging out. It doesn't feel like it's all above the crowd or, oh, I am so fabulous. It is very much, we're among friends here, and it's very relatable, but then also very educational. So those are the types of presentations I love.
Right. Okay. So what are some of the trends that you're seeing in the speaking world?
Some of the trends that I am seeing that, good, bad, indifferent, I'm still seeing people who say, I want to be live, but they're starting to disregard more of the virtual piece, which I don't agree. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love live myself, but people walking away from virtual, they're still losing that international opportunity. So now that they're saying, I just want to do live gigs, well, the other thing that if they're paying to go to those gigs, hotel costs are up, flights are more expensive. I mean, we just know it's a little more expensive right now. And some of it's post-pandemic, some of it is just the economics of what's going on. And so people saying, I didn't make enough money at that event. Well, don't disregard the virtual still. There's still some great, great speaking opportunities virtual. And I just want people to remember during the pandemic, a lot of speakers had their opportunity to get on different stages they never would have before. So to keep that going. And that's, so I'm seeing that, people are wanting to get away from virtual, but the people who are keeping the virtual, they're still going strong.
Okay, so let's talk about topics.
Yeah.
Because what are some of the hottest topics that you're seeing out in the speaker world right now?
Yeah, some of the topics that I really see a lot are very business focused. But they're also mindset with business. So it is, getting out of your way, basically, so that you can be successful. But different types of quick tips, to have a reset, to maybe get your mind in the right place. And there are a lot of different experts. So somebody may say, I'm doing a lot with, I help people get focused, or I help people with their productivity, or I help people who are wanting to grow their ClickFunnels or their outreach. But it is that mindset and that piece of, this is the expert I'm in, and this is how I'm going to help your mind adjust and get over what you're not able to get over. So a lot of mindset. Yeah.
So it's interesting because I was just talking to a friend of mine the other day, and she was asking me about, getting back into doing keynotes, and she pays a lot to be on stages or does a lot of free stuff. So she wants to transition to being paid to speak. Yeah. And I know she's a business mindset person. And so my question to her was, how are you going to stand out amongst all the other people that are already talking about that? So what kind of advice would you give to someone like her?
For her, I would really say for her to figure out what is her secret sauce, what makes her unique, and play off that. It might be something as simple as she's the lady who always wears a bow in her hair. Yeah. And that's just enough of a differentiator that she can use that as part of her marketing. Hey, you might have heard, I'm the mindset coach that helps business, but I'm also the lady with the bow in her hair. And let me tell you, I have been talking to different groups, and this has been the response I've been getting. So whatever makes that person unique, really embrace it. And embrace why you're different, because we all know why people are the same. And we all know, and speakers are given a formula. We know that there's no getting around it. You're going to open this way. You're going to have this long. If you've got a 5-minute, a 2-minute, a 20-minute, this is what you have to do for it. Yeah. But everybody who is individual and has figured out, this is what I bring to it, and they really embrace it, that makes them stand out.
Okay, so what kind of speakers are you looking for?
I traditionally am looking for different types of business speakers. And like I said, they can be the bookkeeper, they can be the attorney, they can be, and I always laugh because it is something that people want to learn, but I also see that they are a speaker and an educator. So I really do go into that, more of that business piece of it, but I never disregard. If I have a client who says, I'm teaching a lot of business, I want to have somebody come in and talk about something fun. Okay, I'm going to find somebody who's going to, who maybe not a comedian, but somebody who really has some great material and a great presentation that makes fun of business. Because we all know there's a lot of funny stuff, but then it's just like, if you want it to be completely light, absolutely. But I predominantly hit for my clients, and they're entrepreneurs. They're teaching their own programs, but they are also bringing in guest speakers who are also trainers. And but they have that, it's not boring. They are engaging, and that they love their subject. They know it inside and out, and they love it. And that really gets other people excited.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so much fun when you have somebody that's really passionate about their topic and helping people. I love it. Okay, so tell me a little bit more about what you do and how you work with speakers.
Yeah. So a lot of what I do is I help speakers have their own events. Everybody says, I wanted to be a speaker so I could get on the stage and share my message. Well, I help people figure out sometimes you've got to build your own stage. and make it your event, because if it's your event, it does have your personality. It does have what you want it to be, whether it's a day-long event, whether it's a half day, whether it's a 3-day. I help entrepreneurs who are also speakers have their events. I teach them, what do they need to know? What is their budget? Do they know do they know about an event's budget? I also help with their contracts, because as speakers, you don't always think about those other things until you hear about it from another speaker who said, oh man, I had my own event and I lost my shirt off of that. I put so much money down on the hotel or on the whatever and the food and the catering, and I didn't make my money back. I never want that to happen. So I will help speakers design their event so that it's profitable. And sometimes it might be that they're not serving food. And sometimes it is that they are serving food, but it doesn't have to be the top of the line. And sometimes I'll tell them, you've got a really good group. You need to up your menu a bit. So, and I'll say, you've got the budget for it. So I really let them know what will work for them, and also what they consider is a successful event. When you're starting out and you have your first event, for some people, it's just having 10 people show up for your event. There is nothing wrong with that. And if that is success and that's what gets you started, I am here for it. I applaud that. I celebrate that, because I know you're going to get out of your comfort zone and you're going to know, all right, I did the speaking thing. I had 10 people. Granted, they were my family and friends, but the next time they'll be more prepared, and they won't be as, they just won't be as nervous about how it works out. The back end piece of it, that is.
Right. Yeah. And I think a lot of times a lot of speakers get stuck in that rut that they have to just be a keynote speaker and get paid. And then that's it. Where, another event planner showed me how a guy made like $100,000 in one weekend on 20 people. So, and when you do the math and you break it down, it's like, oh my God, that sounds so easy.
It definitely does. And, a lot of the speakers I bring on for my clients, they don't pay them. They don't let them sell from stage, but they do give them a vendor table, and they do give them the opportunity for people to get the free gift and get on their mailing list and then set up a call. And we really do. When I tell people that I want the speaker, if they're not getting paid, to at least be able to get their money back for what they paid for travel or their expenses. Right. If they're getting paid for it, then let's make it, something where they can still make money on top of it, but it isn't going to be outrageous. And if we're having them pay to play, I really want them to make their money back. And so I really will push. Go to their table, visit with them. They've got a great program. We brought them here because, we told them you can't sell from the stage, but I can tell people, go see their table, because we know they do really great stuff.
Yeah, I love that, because I love that you're sharing that there's so many different business models for a speaker.
Yes.
Good. Okay, so what is your favorite thing about the speaking business?
I think it might be hearing individual stories, because there's the reason people want to speak. They have a story. They have something to share. And I like hearing that. And when I get the goosebumps, and it just makes me realize either, somebody's overcome something incredible and they're doing great things now, or even if they're just sharing everyday stuff, but it's new stuff that I'm learning. I love that as well. So I love hearing from people, honestly. That's in hearing their stories.
I love it when you see the storytellers. Like I love being a storyteller, and I love those speakers. I find there's some other speakers, I call them preachers, because they're just preaching at you what you should do to improve your life, but they don't tell the story of how they got there, or why are they so passionate about that they want to get their message out there. So
yeah, I like that. I like your phrase, the preachers.
yeah.
I love the storytellers. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so Connie, how can people work with you?
So what they can do is they can go to my website, saltybeevents.com, and set up time to talk, or just send me an email, connie@czellerevents.com.
Excellent. Okay, any final words of wisdom you'd like to share with our speakers?
If anybody does want to, so here's where I'm going to give my little free gift. If anybody wants, I do have sponsorship and a checklist that I give away, and I give it to all of my clients, but it just lets you know if you're having a sponsor for your event, what to do. Also, what's your timeline and what's the checklist? So people are welcome to get that, and it'll be on my website as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Connie. I just love you. Everybody's going to learn so much from your interview. So thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. And again, I love that you are out there helping speakers and helping them understand that it isn't just a one and done, that they've still got work to do to get their story out, but it's worth doing.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I talked to Jim Cathcart, and he was telling me one speaking gig led to 10 more with that same company. Just all these different things that came of that. And it was like, oh, that makes so much sense. Like, what else can you do? So love it.
Yeah, so I love that too. We
can't just think about the one speech. We got to think about the whole lifetime of that, with the client.
Yeah. It's sort of like when you buy clothes. How many times are you going to wear them? How many times do they get washed? Or how many times do they go to the dry cleaner? Is it going to be exponential, or is it a one and done? And yeah, think about that one, do really well, and it's going to grow.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you again, Connie. And thank you all for listening to Landing the Gig.
Thank you, Kelly.
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh, Kelly, that was an amazing episode. I hope you all took notes. Absolutely fabulous insights from experts telling us exactly how we can land the gig. For those of you who want more, we are super excited to offer you a new program that Kelly and I are building together that we would love for you to be part of. It is one message, 1 year, 6 figures. We're going to teach you 12 strategies once a month, a new strategy that you're going to be able to implement to get actual income from your message, to be able to build it, to be able to share it, to be able to grow it, and to be able to profit from it.
I love it, Kimberly, because that's the big thing is we have this message. We know we want to be a speaker, but we don't know what to do with it. So this way they're going to get to work with us to make it all happen and come together.
I love it. So not only will you get the sessions with us in a group format, you're going to learn a different strategy every single month to be able to generate income from your message. On top of that, you're going to have a Q&A session or an accountability session with Kelly once a month as well, where we're going to check in to make sure that you're making progress on that strategy, that you're implementing. For those of you who are actually action takers and going to implement each strategy every month, you'll have a chance to check in with Kelly to make sure you're on track, answer any questions that you need to answer, and be able to continue your growth and your profitability. In addition to that, we're going to invite you to come play with us in person on the Influencers Cruise. Kelly, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh my God, I can't wait for the Influencers Cruise. It's going to be so fun, so much stuff to do. And of course, learn, and make profit. So I'm looking forward to the Influencers Cruise and what we're going to do on that.
So if you want to check it out, click the QR code and find out more. We would love to have you be a part of it. I'm Kimberly Crow along with Kelly Filardo. We'll see you next time on Landing the Gig. Cheers.